Good morning. Good morning. It is a beautiful morning here in Tallahassee. It is a little past 11. Mercury retrograde in progress. Oh well, all is well here. I hope all is well for you. This is a beautiful day. As I said, it's a beautiful sunny day. Today I get to dance not only with the group, but also just to have a single dance lesson. And I'm really, really excited about that. It is really fun and wonderful, and just to be here, just to be enjoying this beautiful day, just to be enjoying everything. It is wonderful. So today is Sunday, October 10th, and the sun is in Libra. So we're looking for balance. We're also looking for self-correction. When we find balance, we are giving some things up to add some others into there. So what is that? So this is about finding that balance. It's also the middle of Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be going direct October 18th. We're looking for that information that we had overlooked because we'd been saying, hey, Leslie, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Let me get you down here. All right. Okay, I'm happy that you're here today too, Leslie. Yes, thank you for joining me. So Venus is in Sagittarius. Again, we have Mercury retrograde, and things are just happening. We're getting that information that we need, that self-correction information that we need to go forward. So we're being supported. Hey, Angie, I'm so excited that we have Tarot Flow this Thursday night. That's so exciting. I have the links. Double check me, Angie, because I was running a little bit late this morning. So I was putting the information into my phone to post. So just make sure that I got that correctly if you would too. Yes. So Venus is in Sagittarius right now, and this is such a wonderful sign. It's a fire sign. It's normally ruling the ninth house of the zodiac, which is about the higher mind and information and higher learning and foreign travel and lots of good things. So it's a fire sign giving us that passion, that forward motion, that call to action, if we will, not needing action, but that inspired action done. Hey, Deb, got you down. Okay, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So with Saturn now that we have the information that we're getting with Venus, and Venus does it from the heart, of course, and that makes it so beautiful in the way that it works. It's about information, optimism, and so we're getting a lot of aspects right now that let us know that the information is there if we choose to recognize it. And of course, it's always about choice. It's always about choice. So let's not forget that it's always about choice. And all of the things that we talk about here, whether it's the tarot or Aquarius, or tarot or astrology, for whatever it happens to be, that is always supported by free will. No matter what information you get, no matter what you see outside of anything that should be done, supposed to be done, all those wonderful things, it doesn't matter. What matters is, how does it feel for you? Is this right for you? Is it taking you away from the path that you feel that is yours? I know that I've become more discriminating in my choices of things to do because I'm feeling strongly now, the more that I'm practicing and visualizing and focusing on my path, if it's taking me off of it, I can't do it anymore, even if it's what I'm supposed to do. So we're not going to go there. This is what we're doing. Saturn is direct today in Aquarius at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So that retrograde that we've had since May 23rd is now moving forward, and it's making a big change for us. This is the new way of doing things, and we're finding out what that is. Aquarius, that sign normally ruled by Uranus, that gives us all that inspiration and brand new ideas and ways of doing things. Now Saturn is giving us the tools and the knowledge and the framework and the organization to get it done. The moon is in Sagittarius today. So again, clear, wonderful optimism that really gives us that wonderful feeling. It's fall now. I'm loving this fall. I mean, I get to finally use my, I know I could use them anytime, but somehow it doesn't seem appropriate in any other month but October to use my tarot cards that are my Halloween tarot cards. And I love them, absolutely love them. So here we go. Chiron. We all have Chiron in our chart. Chiron is called the wounded healer. And it's called the wounded healer, and right now it's in Aries. And Aries is the first house of the zodiac. So the wounded healer now is there, and it's all about us. Chiron spends most of its time in Aries, and rightfully so, because where do we need to do most of the correction or understanding or healing? It's within ourselves. It's not what happens outside of us really isn't giving us the impact. It's what is happening inside. What makes that really happen? So imagine what your life would be like if you healed your deepest wound. And some of us, including me, are still discovering it. It's like there's another layer peeled off of it, and there it is. And wow, I thought I really dealt with this. I thought I really handled this situation, but there's another little piece of it that we're still working on. And let's face it, if we're not doing any self-transformation, enhancement, expansion, then we're gone. We're not in physical form anymore. So it's always a process, and it's always exciting. I think it's kind of cool. I don't want to ever get to a place that they say, well, I'm done. There's nothing more to learn. There's nothing more for me to do. There's nothing else exciting, and still be in this physical form. I want to know that all of it is there. And the one big awareness that I've come to that I'm so happy to now embrace, rather than regretting any events of my life, I'm embracing them because I know I created it. And I created it for a reason. And I didn't know it at the time, but once I came out on the other side. So I don't have to have any shame or regret or guilt or whatever about any events in my life. And that's so liberating. That really was, and this was something that is recently learned, not necessarily that I learned early on. So whenever I find a new awareness for myself, I'm always sharing it, and I hope you don't mind that I do that, because it's so exciting to have like another layer peeled off and feeling and embracing who you really are. And that's what we came here to do. So Chiron is going to be in Aries until 2027. As I said, normally it spends 1.5 years, 2 years in a sign, but it's a long time in Aries. And of course, the opposite sign of Aries in the natural chart is Libra, which rules others. So here we have Aries, us, how we are, where Chiron is right now, and opposite, and what we're experiencing that, and you may be feeling some of that too, and I'm happy to hear, and I'd love for you to share that if you don't mind, if you feel like you'd like to, about what's happening in the other, because we have that Libra influence. The sun is in Libra now. We had the new moon in Libra. So now, what is that feeling? It's the opposite of Chiron. What healing process? And of course, healing leads to wellness. We're always looking for that state of wellness. So, in Greek mythology, because I just want to give you some background about like Chiron, what is that? So I learned this because I was not that familiar with Greek mythology, so I'm going to share it. So I hope you don't mind. In Greek mythology, it was the son of Saturn and the nymph of Philia. So he was born half man and half horse. So Chiron is rejected by his mother because he's not beautiful and not wonderful. So he's abandoned by his parents, and that's Chiron's first wound. Rejection. And we've all felt that somewhere in our life, and under that rejection that we may feel is something even deeper, and this is what we came here to heal, to make well. That's why I want to talk about the 3 archetypes, because we don't stay in healing. And those of you who know me know that healing is the process to wellness. Our goal is always wellness. Where I want to be is wellness, and no matter how I'm feeling, I have to see the wellness within me. In the work that I do with my clients, I'm not focusing on the wounds. I'm focusing on the wellness, the wholeness of that person, because I can see that. And sometimes we get caught up in the wounds and the disappointments and the shame and the guilt, and don't focus on the wonderful being that we really are. So Apollo, the god of music and prophecy and medicine and healing, adopts Chiron and teaches him everything he knows. So Chiron carries on Apollo's legacy and then discovers botany and pharmacy and learns even more and does more for physicality and the science of herbs and medicine, and he becomes so knowledgeable. He was highly skilled and educated and also very kind. But the irony was that even if he could heal everyone else, Chiron could not heal himself. So ultimately, for wellness, for that healing process to continue, Chiron gives up his immortality to help Prometheus. And Prometheus, who has been chained to this rock. So the gods agree to release Chiron from suffering and then let him die. And upon his death, Chiron is released from the wound. Now, we're not talking about going that far for us. We're talking about there's a whole lot more that's happening. So Chiron now has been released and is honored in the constellation Centaurus. So it's one of the largest constellations in the sky. So this leads to the importance of Chiron and our inner being. So when Chiron gave up his immortality, ironically, he became immortal. Centaurus. Your deepest wound eventually becomes your greatest gift, your legacy, and what you leave behind for generations to come and generations past. Many times our own wound that we heal heals those that came before us, but also heals those in the past. And think about the initial wound of Chiron being rejection. Chiron rising in the sky and transforming into a beautiful constellation is a message that while your greatest gift can only rise from pain and suffering. How long we choose to stay within the wound is up to us. I'm sure that some of you have observed people that live in their wounds. They're very comfortable living in their wounds. Healing does not want to be part of their process, and that's fine. But I have a feeling that you and me, you and I, want that healing process to happen so that we are whole, well, and healthy. And in being whole, well, and healthy, we are loved. And that is self-love first, which then allows the love outside to come to us. But this gift is much more, and that's why I'm saying this gift is much more than pain and suffering. It's about the love. And in our doing this, we are teaching it to others. By teaching, it doesn't mean like I'm standing here doing there and my profession was a teacher. It means we also do it by example, by how you live your life. Are you living your life in wounds? Are you living your life whole, well, healthy, and in the light? That's the choice that you have. Again, free will. That's the choice you have. Chiron is the hope that we can unite that animal part of us, that part that wants to kind of survive under any condition, with that divine part of ourselves. Yes, if we go into that animal part, there is not the feeling. We're operating totally on instinct, not intuition. So we have to decide how we want to blend these two. So healing takes time and it takes awareness, but it happens. So Chiron stands for different stages of soul development. So we're not living our whole life constantly the wounded healer, okay? Thank goodness. That's the good news. We do move forward. We do get better because we learn and we decide that what feels good, does this feel good over here? Living with this self-pity or this regret or this guilt or this shame or any of that, or does it feel good being over here in the light because I don't have to look at myself that way anymore. I know that I'm whole, well, healthy. I am special. I am powerful. I am outstanding. I am worthy and deserving of all the universe has to give me and send to me all my desires. So we have the wound where that sometimes we're even hiding for ourselves. As I said, we've got that onion, that layer of the onion, and we think we've got it done, but we've done as much as we can at that moment. At that present moment, we've healed as far as we can go with what we know. Then the layer goes away and there's more. But it gets easier and easier. See, that's the good part. It gets easier and easier because we're not beating ourselves up anymore. I mean, that doesn't feel good. Self-flagellation isn't fun. We're not going there. So we go into our attempts to heal the wound. And the key to your spiritual transformation and what we do is to transcend the physical, emotional, or intellectual limitations. In other words, the wounds limit us. We want to be unlimited. So the house where Chiron shows up in your natal chart is your primal wound. For me, my Chiron is at 18 degrees of Libra. Libra being a Leo rising is my third house of the zodiac. That's communication. That's neighbors, short distance travel. That's all of those things. It is my learning to communicate in a different way. And what I'm doing now is something that I had to learn. This was not easy, but I had to give up the self-recrimination and the self-judgment in order to get here. And I'm still working on it. There are times that it's difficult, but that's my third house. So it all depends on where because Chiron, that's my birth Chiron, and the Chiron transiting now is opposite that. So I'm getting that double whammy right now of my natal Chiron being opposite the transiting Chiron. So this is my opportunity to really bring this all to a close, not to a head, but to do that final healing of wellness. Will there be other little things that show up? Absolutely. But it's part of transcendence and transformation, and it all works. So this is what I've been called to heal in this lifetime. And sometimes I don't even recognize that person before this. So it's also about being brave and courageous to want to address it. So there's 3 Chiron archetypes, and they're all the expression of Chiron energy. So the first is the wounded healer. You cannot really heal yourself until something hurts. And so when whatever that wound is that you came to heal happens, that's when we move towards that. So it means acknowledging the wound, not judging it, not saying, oh, why, or, any of those questions that we can ask about why did this happen? Why am I feeling this way? It's there. Just acknowledge it. It helps us understand any underlying issues that may happen with it. Chiron is there. It's the primal wound of rejection that we're all born with. The type of rejection, whatever kind of rejection it is, depends. For me, it was my dad. He did not recognize women as being important in the family. It's how he treated my mom. I had a half-brother who passed away in 1997, and he was everything because he had the Merrill name, and girls just got married and had babies, and they didn't have anything to do with passing on the Merrill legacy. And it was very evident, and this has been a long-awaited thing. So I had to always try and get his attention in being outstanding in so many ways. And then I had to learn I had to just love me enough to not worry about anybody else. But that was my wound, that communication level, that level of rejection. Depending on where your Chiron is in your birth chart, it will show up for you. But does it mean you have to have regrets about it? No, it's just part of life. Before we even knew about Chiron, we were having this type of experience. So the next is the shaman. See, gets better. This is the intermediate expression of Chiron, and we now embrace and heal the wound. We want it done. We want it done. All the struggles that we've been through, anything that's been happening that we felt we are a failure or broken, because we're none of those. We're none of those. We now understand that we are. And we think about the big decisions that you had in life, or any failures or missed out opportunities. That's when you were, or I was, anyway, beating myself up. And I've had enough of those events in my life after 75 years to know that there is those opportunities to create that. There's a part of you that wanted something and another part who wanted something else. That split thing. So you can imagine, I'm so happy that I understand and I'm aware of my natal Chiron opposing the transiting Chiron. So it's time to get rid of the shame. It's time to get rid of the guilt, the feeling of being broken, the feeling that we're not enough. All of that goes because we now become the alchemist. This is the third expression of Chiron. And this is what's so beautiful. As we talk about the wounded healer, and we always hear about the wounded healer Chiron, but we never get the understanding that it gets better, that we can become the alchemist. And this is the highest expression of Chiron. You've transcended any limitations. You're living an expression and an example to others of what it's like to transcend the limits. The wound is healed and it's now transformed into a gift. Many of you are there already. I know that we're still working on some of these to try and figure it out, but that's okay. We're all a work in progress. But I'm so happy to know that we're not stuck with wounded healer. We're not stuck with a wound that never heals. I mean, think about that in our physical body, to have a wound that never heals. How it's always calling your attention to the fact of healing. And I love the story, and it was explained to me this way because I happen to be a student and a listener and total devotee to Abraham Hicks, explaining healing and wellness. If we concentrate on healing, we always stay in a state of healing, not looking at being whole, well, and healthy. When Jesus came to heal, he didn't see the wound. He saw the wellness, so that the wellness became the overriding factor within that physical body, that whoever he was focused on. He focused on the wellness, so that rose to the surface. That came about, not the wound. And when that was explained to me that way, it was very eye-opening. So we've already talked about Aries being in the first house and how the focus then is Aries. Aries is the first house, and Chiron now transiting the first house opposite Libra. So those two, because we have one opposite the other, and it is affected whether you have a planet opposing that Chiron or not. I happen to. I've got like 5 planets in Libra. So yeah, Chiron's just going bam, 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 bam. But I know that. I'm aware of it. And when something crops up to remind me of the wound that I really should be going to this so I can be included, hence the opposite of rejection, I then can sit and understand, no, I really don't. I'm not being called there. That's that understanding that I just can be me. It doesn't have to involve that feeling of being rejected by other groups. If you're Taurus, Chiron is in your 12th house. This is the house of the unconscious mind. It's what happens behind the scenes. It's what's going on with you right now. Thank you. Yes. Focus on wellness, healing, not the healing. Thank you, Leslie. That is so important, because then we see ourselves as the wonderful, perfect being that we really are. Not broken, not needing healing, because we're already there. That's where the focus is. That's what's so important. So for Taurus, Chiron is right now in your 12th house. So that's the unconscious mind. So if you are Taurus, there can be some thoughts going behind the scenes in that unconscious mind, telling you that you're not enough, telling you that I need to isolate a little bit more, and that may not be bad to focus on this. The opposite of that is the 6th house, which is health, work, and service. So it's very possible that part of your healing and healing of that wound is having some isolation, having some quiet time, having some time to meditate, to allow this healing to take place to wellness. We all want to reach the level of alchemist, where we are unlimited within the Chiron energy. We want unlimited in all energies. But this is the one thing that really can help us focus, because for many, and it has been for me too, been one of the blocks to those things that I want in my life. Chiron helps reveal the blocks for us to heal. Chiron helps to relieve, to focus on what is resistant in us to allowing to receive. Whatever that is. I never thought I'd have a grandchild, and I have a grandchild. That alone is amazing. Some of those people that were very close to me, that are no longer in my life, whether physically or not, because they passed away or transitioned, or they're still in physical form but not part of my life. It's been amazing that they've been replaced with someone that has the same birth date, with a loving relationship that I have with them. And this has happened on more than one occasion. So what I'm saying is, if you go into that unlimited space to open up, there's so much out there that can come to you that you're allowing. If you're Cancer, it's in your 10th house. So it's now time to take a look. This is your ambition, your career, your, that how you show up with that self-esteem. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's my teddy. That's my teddy for sure. So for Cancer being in the 10th house, it's now time to look at, and this is how intuitively it feels to me, if you are Cancer Sun or Cancer Rising, it's time to look at what is motivating you. Are you being motivated in your career by the fact that you really feel this way, or you feel you must be included, or you want to make sure that you get out there and are seen within that? But is it because you really believe that's the tack to take, or is it that you need the acceptance, not the rejection? So again, we're motivated by acceptance, rejection. So that's why we want to take a look at that. And the opposite of the 10th house is the 4th. Well, Cancer, you rule the 4th house. So it's really to take a look at, maybe there's a push-pull for you right now between home and family and what you're working on. There is a balance. We've got the energies for balance now, so just take a look at that. If it's Leo, Chiron is transiting the 9th house. This is the house of the higher mind. This is the house of philosophy, of your own personal beliefs and philosophies. It's also long distance travel. It's also learning and knowledge. Maybe you're experiencing a different way of thinking and feeling. The opposite of that, of course, is the 3rd house of communication. So how is that communication happening? How are you communicating to yourself? What are those methods and ideas and self-talk that you're giving? Is it based on the wounds and based on the self-judgment type comments? Let's face it, we wouldn't talk to anybody else the way we talk to ourselves. So how are we communicating? How are you doing that with yourself based on what you know now? Can that change? Virgo, it's your 8th house. It's the 8th house of transformation. So Virgo, you may be experiencing, Virgo sun sign, and especially rising sign, you may be experiencing some major transformation now. Major transformation in how you express yourself and how you want to be. The focus may be more on you now, because you're feeling, I'm important, I'm loved, I'm fantastic, I'm wonderful, I'm all those things. Because Virgos are highly organized and perfectionists and can be very critical. And that's really hard. We're perfectly imperfect. That's all I can say. And sometimes if you are focused on perfection, you're never going to get there. You're just always going to be on the road to perfection, not peace. So let's take a look at what that means, because the opposite of that is the second house. The eighth house also rules other people's money, whether it's inheritances. Maybe you got a big tax bill this year that you weren't expecting. All of those things that we need to take a look at and address regarding money. Because the second house, where Libra is transiting right now for you, Virgo, is your finances, what you value, and your money. So there's that understanding of what is important and how do I want to view it. Do I want to view my abundance as limited or unlimited? Doesn't matter what the bank account says. It's how do you want to view it. If you are Libra, Chiron is in your seventh house right now, opposite the first house of you. So it's now time to take a look at how you relate with others and honoring yourself. That finding that balance. If you're Scorpio, it's transiting Scorpio rising or Scorpio sun sign. It's transiting your sixth house, and that is the house of work and service and also health. So there may be some mysterious things happening that maybe have been sort of there for you for a while, and now it's time to address it. Because the opposite of the sixth house is the 12th for you, Scorpio rising and sun sign. And the 12th house has to do with institutions, which can mean hospitals. It can mean any type of bureaucracy, institution, that type of thing. So if we're looking at health and the opposite being an institution, there may be some health issues that you're dealing with, not only for yourself, and it may not be for yourself. You may be the strong, healthy one, but you're taking care of it for other people. So the health axis is there. Sagittarius, it's in your fifth house. Chiron is in your fifth house. And what this is feeling for me, if you're Sagittarius rising or Sagittarius sun sign, it's time to have fun. You deserve it. This is what I'm strongly feeling for Sagittarius. This fifth house is the fun house. This is where all the good things happen, whether it's children or vacations or creativity or romance and all the wonderful things that are out there. It's now time to say, I am worth it. It's okay for me to enjoy myself. It's okay for me to take that vacation. It's okay for me to buy something that I like. I'm worthy and deserving of all of that. The opposite of that is the 11th house, which is friends and social groups. So there's that balance. Am I sharing most of my time and energy and finances with social organizations and groups? Or am I focusing on what I really love? Now, the 11th house is also hopes and wishes and humanitarian concerns. But again, it's finding the balance between the two, because it's been out of balance. Chiron is there to help you find that balance. If you're Aquarius, Chiron is in your third house. And of course, we've got the opposite axis that we just talked about for Leo. So you are now experiencing that in communication, where the opposite is about the knowledge. You're experiencing it in your short distance travel as opposed to long distance travel. So it's finding that balance. And for Pisces, it's in your second house, and Libra is in the 8th. So again, it's that same balance that I talked about with Virgo. It's that same opposition. So it's finding, again, the balance of finances between yours and others, partnership ones, or it could be inheritances. So it can be very complex, but it's not. I'm here to say, yes, we talked about the 3 archetypes of Chiron. Yes, it's the wounded healer, but you don't stay in a condition of wound unless you choose. You don't, just because Chiron showed up in my third house didn't mean, oh my God, I will never be able to communicate with people again. I can't do it properly. Did I ever think that? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was so comfortable in front of a group of children, but put me in front of a group of adults and it was like, whoa, I'm not sure about this. Put me on stage to speak. Whoa, I'm not sure about this. But can it be? Can it change? And here I am on camera. yes, it doesn't matter who shows up live because it gets viewed and I get comments later on because it's seen. So, and it's wonderful because now I can just be me. And that's the most important part. Just be you. Just be you. Yeah, true. Kids don't judge. They really don't. They really don't. Although I taught 5th grade, so the girls would look me up and down and just see what I was wearing and kind of figure out what it was. But they didn't judge. It was always so cool with them. They're absolutely. And that's the part that we talk about. Maybe the wound is rejection, but the rejection can just be in ourselves. It doesn't have to come from the outside, but it starts with us first. Yeah, they critique for sure. they're adorable. So it starts from the inside. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not loved. I'm incapable. We start with all of that. And one of the things that I really work with my clients is journaling, the self-judgments, and now creating a new one. Now creating a new positive one. And writing it, because writing is powerful. So, and just, this is to let you know that you are all amazing, that you're all powerful, you're all unlimited, you're all fantastic, and there's no comparison. There's no comparison. I like that, Angie. I know you're talking about the kids, but there is no comparison to anyone else because you are you. You are your fantastic you. Let's face it, the world would really be boring if we had a whole bunch of little clones running around. There's nothing fun with that. Okay, I am shuffling my Halloween cards, and we're off to Leslie, Angie, and Deb. Okay, let's get this. Oh, it's 11:39. I see that on my clock all the time. That's when Tim was born, 11:39 in the morning. Yes. No, you did not, Leslie. Yay. Oh, I'm so glad. Look forward to seeing you there Thursday. Okay, this is Leslie. Ooh, I love this, Leslie, because you know what we talked about in the past when you had your last card. This is the Hierophant, and of course, it's getting a lot of reflection, which is, again, the Halloween card, so it's hysterical. But the Hierophant is about this, what I'm really feeling is this new level of spiritual awareness. And the spiritual awareness being you, the wonderful you, feeling good about you. So Chiron's doing its work, wherever that shows up in your chart, Leslie, because it is about, I am good enough for everything. I am wonderful enough. I don't have to spread myself thin with so many different groups to be accepted. I am whole and fully accepted. That's such a wonderful feeling. Such a great feeling. I love this card. And to have the Hierophant being a mummy is really, because it's a high level of spiritual consciousness. So this is really beautiful. It also relates to dogma or regimentation that sometimes we can find in organized religion. But the basis that I'm feeling from here for you, Leslie, is this new level. And of course, this is for everybody. Leslie gets this focus, and thank you, Leslie, for calling this card for us all. So yes, you are whole. And this card just says that you have, and continue telling yourself that. That card is so beautiful. I'm so happy for you because that's been a wonderful transition from some of the cards that you've had in the past. Oh, that's so great. So see, Chiron probably did its work just for you. Okay, Angie, my sister friend, I am so anxious to see you on Thursday. Really, Benita. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, Ange. Interesting. This is the Two of Bats. Bats being the air sign or swords. So this is about a choice. Hey, Jamie. I'm feeling the choice here, Angie, and we all are in a state of choice. But this is specifically for you. There's The choice has to do with your honoring you and not what you're supposed to do or what other people think you should do. You are a Scorpio rising, so that has a real, which makes you so highly intuitive and sensitive to what's happening around you. So this choice is really important because it really comes down to the core of you honoring who you are. Moving forward with what should be happening or you think is part of the journey, or is it? What choice do you make that really honors you and how you feel you should proceed? That's what's in this card. And again, thank you, Angie, for doing this card, because it's specifically for her for a certain reason, but it's for all of us, and that's what I really love. So the question is, Angie, are you honoring you? Is that the best place and the best direction? Whatever it is that honors you. And it's not necessary, and it may be a business decision because I'm feeling that it's related to that. So it's not necessarily just about money. Because if you're making a decision for business just because, the money's not going to flow because you're not in that abundant, wonderful, open space that you need to be. Okay, Deb. Okay, so this is, oh, good. Yes. All right, this is the 5 of Pumpkins. So this is like the 5 of Pentacles. Now, Deb, this is normally called the poverty card. I'm not sensing that you're fearful of money, but I'm sensing that you're feeling lack in an area that is you. I don't know how to explain it. Let me try. It isn't that you aren't abundant, because that's not what I'm feeling from this. I'm feeling it's in an inner thought of you, and that it's Pentacles, which is the earth sign and grounding, means that it's a part of you that you really, really value in how you do your work. Do your work. Use more wild orange, Deb. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's not forget the orange underwear. So, because the decision card affected you also, again, it's a decision of where you're going to go based on, okay, we've had this sort of card before about honoring who you are and making sure that you go forward, Deb, in some of our, in Tarot Flow, when you have those cards. And this is taking it to like the next level. When I talked about with Chiron peeling away that onion, yes, you could see that level, and you had experienced everything you could up to that point. Then that peeled away, and now we're at the next level, and that peeled away. So I feel like, since we've been talking about that, honoring yourself and peeling away the layers of the onion, we've had a couple layers go, and now, and then of course the onion gets smaller and smaller as we get to that core. So this is going to be not hard. The outer layers were big, and even though that's how it felt, but you did it. So what we're coming down to is the core of this, and we can call it the Chiron wound. I mean, that's what we're talking about today. And basically the Chiron wound is rejection on many levels. We can take rejection till the cows come home and with examples. So whatever that feels to you, this is now still your time to honor who you are. And again, but you're feeling lack of something, because this card would not have shown up if you weren't feeling lack. So it's feeling lack of something. So what is that is affecting you is not real. Okay, that's what I want to say. That is not real. Let's focus on you and the positive parts of that. Again, just like I said, the self-talk may be negative, but let's look at who you really are. And this is that opportunity to take more of that limited thinking and throw it out. No. It's not real. but it's not real. So then moving into the unlimited sense. Unlimited sense. It's a feeling, it's a thought. And of course, because it's pumpkins, it really goes into that poverty feeling or of lack. But again, I'm not feeling that it relates to money. I'm feeling that it relates to what you're doing in you and you inside. Is taking possibly your business to the next level of this wonderful journey that you've been on and making it more creative than just other people do. And now it's like, should I move this forward? Do I have the ability to do this? Is this something that I really should be doing? Because I'm not feeling like I can do this. I don't know that much. You know, you're going back and forth with that. Know that you have it. You know what you need to do. You have all that knowledge. You're bringing it together. Stay in that unlimited space and let the ideas flow. Does that make sense? I hope so, Deb. But stay in that unlimited space and let the ideas flow. Okay. Okay. All right. Go with those feelings, because it's what's going to make you happy that's really counting here, Deb. What is going to make you happy? Okay. And of course, if there's more to deal with this, you know, Deb is going to come out on Thursday. So if we need more clarity, you know, it'll be in your card for Tarot Flow. So it's going to be there for sure. So I am so happy that this has been such a great day, and I'm so happy to share that Chiron is not the rest of your life is a limited factor in your chart. You are unlimited. We expand beyond those limits of Chiron and those limits that we are self-imposed. They're not real. They're not real. So have a wonderful Sunday. I'm looking forward to dancing today. I'm so excited. Yes, dance. So if you have any questions, again, say, Deb, you set me up for this. I'm so happy. The special for October is Embracing Change. Okay, it's out there. And how we're dealing with it. And it's at half price. So instead of $97, it's $49. So do take advantage of that. Online tarot gallery reading is October 21st. That is also a subscription. That cost is different from the subscription or the one-time participation for Tarot Flow. So online tarot gallery reading is just the card reading itself. So that's $14.97 a month with a subscription. So both are amazing. Tarot Flow, I work with the amazing, wonderful, fantastic Angie Reed, and we do oils and cards, where online tarot gallery reading is just the cards by itself for $14.97. So there's lots of opportunities to embrace the change and the unlimitedness of this transiting Chiron that's going to be here for another 6 years. So it's giving you that opportunity to grow and expand and honor you. So have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I look forward to seeing you again very soon, wherever, whether in Tallahassee or back here next Sunday. And we're going to do a reading next Sunday about the future lover. So I think that's going to be fun. Because St. Luke's Day in Britain on October 18th is St. Luke's Day, and that's about seeing your prospective partner. And there's little rituals involved. We're not going to do the rituals, but we are going to do the reading, and we are going to do fun. And if you already have a partner, it's fun to see and feel what you're creating with that partner. So it works for everyone. It really does. But why not? Let's see what I want to see what that partner is going to be. I'm going to look forward to this reading, and I'm doing it, but I get included in all this energy, so I'm happy about that. So have a wonderful Sunday, and remember, joy has your name on it. I love you all. Bye.